Hi, my name is Candace Valenzuela, and I'm running for Denton County Commissioner Precinct 2. I am running for this position because the people of Denton County deserve public servants who understand the challenges that they're facing and want to respond to them when it comes to housing affordability, when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to our need for infrastructure. I am ready for the challenge. I worked for the Biden-Harris administration at HUD. I oversaw 5 states under Secretary Fudge, and I'm so excited to take so much of what I learned from the work there back home to serve my community in Denton County. You know, it's really interesting. You would think that in a federal position, my eyes would only be looking at federal issues, but my position was very specific toward community engagement, to community outreach, to being in the states and in communities with the people. And so overseeing 5 states for the secretary, I was absolutely everywhere. So, I was in rural Arkansas, I was in urban Houston, I was out near the oil rigs, I was in the desert of New Mexico, getting to know tribal communities. And one of the things that I really took home with me is that even if members of Congress do their job, and I know that sounds unusual, but it happens, even if they do their job and they appropriate money to the states and to the local entities, it is up to the rest of the team to make sure that that money reaches the community in the way that it needs to. And what I was seeing is that the state of Texas, in a lot of ways, was not making sure that money came home. And in my county, knowing that there was healthcare money available, knowing that there was rural infrastructure money available, and not necessarily seeing that bear fruit in the way that it needed to, it really made me passionate about coming back home and focusing service right here where my family is. Absolutely. When it comes to healthcare, we know that healthcare is very tenuous in this country, and counties are responsible for picking up the slack. Denton County is now at 1.1 million people. We don't have a county hospital. We have but 2 clinics, one of which is in Louisville, the other is in Denton. That's not enough to cover the service area. And so we really need to make sure that we are tightening our belts and focusing investments in healthcare where it needs to go. Of course, housing affordability is always going to be an issue, and it is definitely here in Denton County. We have many college students, many of whom cannot afford to leave home. They don't have the experience of living in their own apartment, and that's not for lack of working, it's not for lack of trying, but we need to be making sure that we're pushing for sustainable growth in our housing for everybody to have a chance to have a place to call their own. And quite frankly, I didn't think that there was going to be a federal issue when it came to immigration enforcement, but here we are. Just 6 days after Renee Good was murdered, the Denton County Commissioners Court voted to upgrade their agreement with ICE, going from the first 287G agreement, which was a jailhouse agreement. So if they were in the jailhouse, they could check the ICE database and see if they were there, to the task force agreement, which basically brings ICE into ride-alongs with their sheriff's deputies and ensures that they're a part of everything, including routine traffic stops. We are completely footing the bill for this. We are subsidizing the biggest law enforcement agency in the world with Denton County tax dollars, because they say that they're going to spend money here, but we don't actually have it. I read the contract language. Every single sentence says we are responsible for the manpower, we are responsible for the hours, we are responsible for all of the equipment with the exception of the ICE database. So on top of subsidizing this, we're getting trained by people that are, I would say, less qualified than our sheriff's department in order to do enforcement that's far beyond the scope of what we're supposed to be asking of folks that already have a big enough job as it is. And so all of these federal issues happen at the county level. Most people aren't aware of it. They think that this is just an office that kind of keeps the trains running. And to a certain extent, it is. There's lots of unsexy things about government, and you want a public official, an elected official who cares about those unsexy things so they're never a problem. But there are a lot of big federal issues that don't get enforced well unless you vote all the way down the ballot. So you have to vote for county commissioner.